Listen to me. I didn't come this far to quit now. I didn't go through the fire. I didn't fight through the pain. I didn't cry those tears just to be average. I will not be stopped. You might slow me down, but you won't break me. Life might hit me, but it won't knock me out. I was built for this. They said I wouldn't make it. They said I wasn't strong enough. They said the struggle would swallow me whole. But I looked fear in the face and I said, Hamu. I looked down in the mirror and said, watch me. I will not be stopped because my purpose is bigger than my pain. My drive is louder than my excuses. You once said, you gotta be willing to go through the storm. Not around it, not over it, through it. You don't get to greatness by avoiding hardship. You become great by rising in the middle of it. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how hard it gets. I don't care who turns their back on me because I made a decision, not a wish, not a dream, a decision that I will not be stopped, period. No comma, no pause, no break. Stop. People want results, but they don't want the grind. They want the crown, but they don't want the crown. But they don't want the cross. Not me. I want the whole journey. I want the fight because pressure creates diamonds, and I'm one of them. So if you're listening to this right now, understand you got more in you. Dig deeper. Push harder. Keep moving forward. You will rise. You will cry, but you will rise. You will cry. You will not be stopped. I know it hurts. I know it feels like the world is against you. I know you wake up some days wondering why you even try. But listen to me. You didn't go through all that pain for nothing. You didn't suffer just to suffer. That pain, it has a purpose. It's shaping you. It's strengthening you. It's building something inside you that comfort never could. Everybody wants to be strong until it's time to go through the fire. Everybody wants to be great until life punches them in the mouth. And here's the truth. Greatness is forged, not found. You don't wake up one day and become powerful. You don't stumble into strength. You earn it through what you endure. Every tear you cried, every moment you felt alone, every time you wanted to quit but kept going. That's where the real transformation happens. You see, pain is not the enemy. Weakness is the enemy. Quitting is the enemy. Pain is the tool. Pain is the training ground. Pain is the teacher. When I was homeless, when I was sleeping in abandoned buildings, when I didn't know where my next meal was coming from, I thought I was being punished. I thought God had turned his back on me. But looking back now, I see it wasn't punishment. It was preparation. It was purpose in disguise. There's power in the pain if you're willing to look deeper. Some of you are running from your pain, trying to numb it, trying to ignore it. But what you run from will rule you. What you face, what you confront is what will set you free. That pain is not there to destroy you. It's there to unlock a version of you that you didn't even know existed. You think champions are born? Nah. Champions are created in darkness, in doubt, in discomfort. When you hit rock bottom and still get up. When you get betrayed and you still believe. When the world says to give up and your heart says, I'm not done yet. That's when champions are made. That's when the shift happens. That's when the beast in you wakes up. And don't get twisted. Pain is not proof that you're weak. Pain is proof that you're growing. When you go to the gym and your muscles ache, that's growth. That's resistance that's turning into strength. Your life is the same way. Every struggle is a spiritual rep. Every hardship is another weight being lifted. The more you endure, the stronger you become. But here's the thing. You got to stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Stop being the victim and start being the student. Your pain is a classroom. Learn from it. Grow through it. Use it. Because if you can flip the pain, if you can turn the agony into energy, the heartbreak into hunger, nothing can stop you. I'm talking to the one who's been through hell and back. I'm talking to the one who cried themselves to sleep, but still showed up the next morning. And I'm talking to the one who's been told, you're not enough so many times that they almost started to believe it. Listen to me. You are still standing. Means you are not finished. That means you got something inside of you that can't be broken. Don't waste your pain. Don't waste your struggle. There's somebody out there who needs your story. There's somebody who's going through where you've already survived, and they're waiting to see how you respond. Show them what resilience looks like. Show them what grit looks like. Show them what faith under fire looks like. The world doesn't need more people who've had it easy. The world needs warriors. People who've been tested. People who've been through the van, through the valley, but refuse to stay there. That's you. That's your role. You are not broken. You are not damaged. You are forged. You are built by fire. And you got the scars to prove it. So when you feel that pain again, don't curse it. Don't hide from it. Look it in the eye and say, thank you. Because pain made you who you are. And who you are is unstoppable. Too many people are living soft lives because they keep making excuses instead of making decisions. Every time something gets hard, they look for a way out instead of a way through. Listen to me. Success don't come to the smartest. It don't come to the strongest. It comes to the one who decides to win no matter what. It comes to the one who draws a line in the sand and says, I'm done playing small. I'm done making excuses. From this moment forward, I decide you don't get to have dreams and excuses at the same time. You don't get to chase your goals and carry your fears together. One of them has to go. You gotta choose. And I'm not talking about a wish. I'm not talking about hoping life gets better. I'm not talking about saying the right things when people are watching. I'm talking about a decision. You're about to peak. A real all in, no turning back kind of decision. That's the only thing that changes lives. Most people never reach their potential, not because they're not talented, but because they keep giving themselves options. They leave back doors open. They say things like, if it doesn't work, I'll just quit. Or if it gets hard, I'll try something else. That's not a decision. That's a setup for failure. The moment you give yourself a way out, you've already started walking away from what's possible. Success requires commitment. Lock the door. Throw away the key. Burn the boats. Decide. Look, life is going to test you. It's going to put you in situations that make you question everything. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel like quitting. And that's when your decision gets tested. That's when we see if you were serious, because anybody can say they want to succeed when things are easy, but the ones who really make it, they decide to keep going when it's hard. They decide to keep grinding when nobody's watching. They decide to rise, not because it's convenient, but because it's necessary. You think I became who I am because I had more chances than you? No, I just made a decision. I decided I was tired of being average. I decided I wasn't going to let my past define me. I decided I was going to go get it, even if it meant losing sleep, losing comfort, losing people. Some of y'all are losing years waiting for motivation. Stop waiting. Motivation is a feeling. Decisions are a commitment. You don't need to feel like it. You just need to decide. And let me be clear. When you decide, everything changes. Your posture changes. Your pace changes. Your pace changes. Your environment starts shifting. People around you notice the difference. You start walking different, talking different, thinking different. Because when you make a real decision, excuses don't even sound right coming out your mouth anymore. You don't have time to blame your parents. You don't have time to blame your teachers, your coach, the government, the economy. You don't have time for the pity party. You've got a life to build. You've got a purpose to fulfill. And nobody's going to hand it to you. You got to decide to go get it. Some of you are one decision away from a completely different life. One decision away from breaking that generational curse. One decision away from stepping into the best version of you. But you keep delaying it, postponing it, second guessing it. Why? Because fear is loud. Because doubt is familiar. Because excuses are comfortable. But comfort never made anyone great. You don't get growth and comfort at the same time. You've got to choose. And here's the part nobody wants to hear. When you don't decide, you still made a decision. You decided to stay the same. You decided to live below your potential. You decided to let life happen to you instead of creating. Every day you don't decide is a day you delay your destiny. So don't tell me what you want. Show me what you decided. Show me how you wake up. Show me how you work. Show me how you keep going when it's not fun anymore. That's what a real decision looks like. It's not emotional. It's not emotional. It's not cute. It's raw. It's real. It's relentless. No more talking. No more waiting. No more excuses. It's time to decide and never look back. Let me tell you something that most people don't want to hear. The grind does not care how you feel. The grind don't care if you're tired. It don't care if you're stressed. It don't care if you just went through a breakup. if you failed a test, or if you had the worst day of your life. The grind is heartless, it's cold, it's unfeeling. It doesn't pause for your emotions. And if you want to succeed at the highest level, you better learn how to keep moving regardless of how you feel. You want to be great? You want to reach your dreams? Then understand this. Feelings are not facts. Your emotions may tell you to quit, but the grind will only reward you if you keep going. Your emotions may scream, "I can't take it anymore." But the grind only responds to the ones who say, "I'll show up anyway." The grind ain't emotional, so you can't be either. Too many of you are letting your feelings dictate your future. You wake up and don't feel like it, so you skip to work. You don't feel motivated, so you don't move. You don't feel inspired, so you delay your goals. And you wonder why nothing's changing in your life. You wonder why you're stuck. It's because you're making emotional decisions in a discipline-based world. Success don't care if you're in a good mood. You think champions feel like training every day? You think CEOs feel like making 100 hard decisions before lunch? You think the top of the mountain is reserved for the ones who only work when they feel good? Nah, it's reserved for the ones who grind no matter what. The ones who push past pain. The ones who show up when it's uncomfortable, when it's cold, when it's dark, when nobody claps for them, when nobody sees them. The silent killers. The relentless ones. See, I learned a long time ago. If you let emotions lead, they'll lie to you. Your emotions will say, "Take it easy," or "You deserve a break," or "Do it tomorrow." But the grind whispers back, "While you rest, somebody else is working. While you hesitate, somebody else is hungry. While you wait for the perfect mood, someone else is building without it." Listen to me carefully. You will never feel like it every day. Oh, that's the truth. There will be days you're tired, days you're discouraged, days you're not in the zone. But guess what? You don't need permission from your emotions to show up. Discipline is greater than motivation. Habits beat moves. And if you can train yourself to grind through your feelings, if you can work even when it's the last thing you want to do, you're going to separate yourself from 99% of the people out there. Because most people, they only give effort when it's easy, when they're inspired, when everything is going right. But the people who reach the top, they give effort no matter what. They bleed for their dream. They hurt for it. They work when their body aches. They push when their heart is breaking. They grind when life gets hard. That's what makes them different. That's what makes them dangerous. There were times in my life when I didn't feel like doing anything. I didn't feel like speaking. I didn't feel like grinding. I didn't feel like breathing some days. But I made a promise to myself. I said, "Eric, your feelings are not the boss of you. Your emotions don't write your future. Your effort does." And once I made that decision, I took off. I refused to be controlled by something that changes every 5 minutes. I made discipline my master. I made consistency my lifestyle. I'm not saying ignore your feelings. I'm saying don't be led by them. Feel them. Acknowledge them. But then do the work anyway. Because if you're serious about greatness, you can't let every wave of emotion knock you off course. You can't wait for the perfect conditions. The grind is always calling. The only answer is to action. You think the grind is going to pause and wait for you to feel better? You think it's going to stop just because life got hard? No, the grind keeps moving. The question is, are you moving with it? Are you disciplined enough to keep going when everything in you says stop? That's where champions are born. That's where the elite are separated from the average. So I don't care if you're tired, keep going. I don't care if you're heartbroken, keep grinding. Keep grinding. I don't care if you don't feel like it, do it anyway. Because every time you push through those emotions, you're building something unbreakable. You're training your mind to be stronger than your mood. You're preparing yourself for war. And one day when you've made it, when you're standing on the stage, when you're living in your dream, you'll look back and realize it wasn't talent that got you there. It wasn't luck. It wasn't good vibes. It was that moment when you said, "I forget how I feel. I've got work to do." That's the moment everything changed. Everybody wants to dream. Everybody loves the vision. You got the dream car in your mind. You got the house you want, the career you want, the lifestyle you want, and that's good. That's the first step. But let me tell you the truth. Dreaming by itself won't get you there. Wishing won't get you there. Hoping won't get you there. You know what gets you there? Discipline. Day in, day out. over and over again. Discipline is the bridge between where you are right now and where you want to go. You can dream all day. You can write it on your mirror. You can make vision boards and say affirmations. But if you're not backing it up with daily, consistent, relentless action, those dreams stay dreams. You want to make it real? Then you got to build a bridge. And that bridge is made out of early mornings, late nights, self-control, sacrifice, and effort, especially when you don't feel like it. Let me break it down. Discipline is when you wake up when the alarm goes off the first time, not after 10 snoozes. Discipline is when you say no to comfort, to convenience, to distraction. It's when you say no to friends who want to party while you grind. It's when you say no to that voice in your head that says, let's skip today. Discipline means doing what has to be done long after the feeling that inspired you has disappeared. You see, motivation is temporary. Motivation is hype. It comes and goes like the weather. But discipline is eternal. Discipline don't care if it's raining or sunny. Discipline don't care if you're tired or energized. Discipline shows up regardless. And that's what separates the people who want success from the people who live it. I've seen it over and over again. Talented people wasting their potential because they had no discipline. Smart people going nowhere because they refuse to stay focused. And then I've seen people with less talent, less support, less resources, but they were disciplined. They showed up every single day, put in the work, stayed locked in, and they blew past everybody else. Why? Because discipline will always outlast talent when talent refuses to work. You've got to fall in love with the process. You got to embrace the routine. Champions aren't built during the game, they're built in the dark, in silence, in repetition, when nobody's clapping, when nobody's posting about them, when they're doing the same drills, eating the same meals, sticking to the same grind day after day. That's discipline. That's what greatness is built on. And here's the real kicker. Discipline is freedom. People think discipline is punish. They think it's boring, it's restrictive. Nah, discipline is the pathway to everything you want. You want financial freedom? That comes from budgeting, saving, investing, discipline. You want a healthy body? That comes from eating right, training consistently, getting sleep, discipline. You want to be respected? That comes from doing what you said you would do every time. Discipline earns you freedom. It earns you options. It earns you peace. And let's be honest, discipline is hard, but you know what's harder? Regret. Waking up 10 years from now, realizing you wasted time. Realizing you had the talent, but not the habits. Realizing you let your potential sit on the shelf because you couldn't get serious. That's pain. That's heavy. And you don't have to carry that. You can choose discipline now and save yourself from regret later. I'm telling you, you are one disciplined season away from changing your life. One season of locking in, of saying no to the old you, of waking up on time, working when nobody's watching, sacrificing comfort for all in. One season. You don't need 10 years. You need 6 months of focus, a year of grinding, and your whole world will look different. But it starts with the decision to be disciplined. Not when you feel like it. Not when it's convenient. Every single day, even when it's boring. Especially when it's boring, because that's where the breakthrough happens. That's where the average quit and the grace rise. That's where you close the gap between the dream and the reality. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm telling you it's going to be worth it. Discipline isn't just something you do. It's who you become. Yeah. You become someone who doesn't need to be pushed. Someone who doesn't flinch at pressure. Someone who finishes what they start. Someone who lives their dream instead of just talking about it. So build a bridge. Every rep, every step, every decision to stay focused. That's one more stone in the bridge. And if you stay consistent, you stay disciplined, you're going to wake up one day and realize I'm living what I used to dream about. Not because it fell into your lap. Not because it was easy, but because you built it with discipline. I need you to hear me loud and clear. Your biggest competitor is not the person next to you. It's not the one on social media flashing their success. It's not the person you've been comparing yourself to for years. Your biggest competition is the person looking back at you in the mirror. That's it. That's who you're really fighting. So stop worrying about what everyone else is doing. Stop measuring your success based on someone else's timeline. Stop wasting energy trying to beat someone else. Because the truth is, while you're focused on competing with others, You're neglecting the most important race of all, the one against yourself. You see, people love to say, I want to be better than this person, or I want to do what they're doing, but they miss the point. The real question isn't whether you can outperform someone else. The real question is, can you outdo yourself? Can you push past your own limitation? Can you break your own records? Can you silence your own doubts? That's where the real battle lies. The real fight isn't about showing up the person next to you. It's about showing up for yourself. It's about waking up every day and saying, I'm going to be better today than I was yesterday. That's what matters. That's how you grow. You don't measure progress by comparing your pace to anyone else's. You measure it by asking, did I do better than I did last week? Did I push harder? Did I work smarter? Did I work smarter? Did I improve? When you start viewing your competition as yourself, you stop worrying about everyone else's victories. You stop being distracted by other people's success stories. And instead, you get obsessed with becoming the best version of yourself. And that's when everything changes. Listen, there will always be someone faster than you. There will always be someone smarter. There will always be someone with more resources, more experience, or more opportunities. But that doesn't matter. What matters is what you do with what you have. What matters is the discipline you put in every day. What matters is the relentless drive to be better than you were yesterday. And the truth is, most people will never reach their full potential because they're too busy looking over their shoulder. They're too worried about what someone else is doing. They're trying to keep up with someone else's pace instead of focusing on their own. They're distracted by other people's lives, and as a result, they're not fully focused on their own. But when you focus on you, everything shifts. You stop being jealous. You stop being resentful. You stop being bitter. Why? Because you realize that someone else's success doesn't take away from your own. There's enough room for everyone at the top. But the only way you'll get there is if you stop competing with others and start competing with yourself. It's easy to say you want to be successful. It's easy to say you want to be great. But are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to face your own weaknesses? Are you willing to look yourself in the mirror and be honest about what you need to improve? Because that's where the battle is. That's the part most people ignore. They avoid it. They don't want to confront their own shortcomings, their own insecurities, their own laziness. But if you want to be successful, you got to face those things head on. It's not about making excuses or blaming other people for where you are. It's about taking full responsibility for your own life and your own journey. Stop saying, if only I had this, or if only I had that. If you want to win, you have to win with what you've got. Right now, with the skills you have, with the resources you have. You have to use every ounce of energy to beat the person you were yesterday. This is where true growth happens. When you stop measuring yourself against other people and start measuring yourself against your own potential. When you stop comparing your progress to someone else's timeline and start focusing on your own trajectory. The only person you should be competing against is the person who woke up this morning and the person you were yesterday. Don't wait for the perfect circumstances. Don't wait for everything to be aligned. You will never have everything you want to compete with others. So stop wasting your time. Start focusing on what you can control. Focus on how much better you can get. Focus on how many more hours you can put in. Focus on how much further you can push yourself. That's what matters. The truth is, success is an individual pursuit. Your journey is yours alone. Your path is different from anyone else's. And that's okay. It's not a race to be the best compared to others. It's a race to be the best version of yourself. Every day you should be trying to one-up yourself. Every day you should be pushing your limits, setting new goals, and breaking your own records. So the next time you catch yourself comparing yourself to someone else, stop, refocus, shift the energy back to you. How can you be better today than you were yesterday? What are you doing today to outwork the person you were last week? That's the competition that matters. That's the only competition that will lead you to greatness. Your biggest competition is not in the world around you. It's in the world within you. And if you focus on becoming better than you were yesterday, you'll realize that you're already winning. You're already ahead. And the best part is you'll never stop winning. I need you to hear me loud and clear. Your biggest competitor is not the person next to you. It's not the one on social media flashing their success. It's not the person you've been comparing yourself to for years. Your biggest competition is the person looking back at you in the mirror. That's it. That's who you're really fighting. So stop worrying about what everyone else is doing. Stop measuring your success based on someone else's timeline. Stop wasting energy trying to beat someone else. Because the truth is, while you're focused on competing with others, you're neglecting the most important race of all, the one against yourself. You see, people love to say, I want to be better than this person, or I want to do what they're doing, but they miss the point. The real question isn't whether you can outperform someone else. The real question is, can you outdo yourself? Can you push past your own limitation? Can you break your own records? Can you silence your own doubts? That's where the real battle lies. The real fight isn't about showing up the person next to you. It's about showing up for yourself. It's about waking up every day and saying, I'm going to be better today than I was yesterday. That's what matters. That's how you grow. You don't measure progress by comparing your pace to anyone else's. You measure it by asking, did I do better than I did last week? Did I push harder? Did I work smarter? Did I work smarter? Did I improve? When you start viewing your competition as yourself, you stop worrying about everyone else's victories. You stop being distracted by other people's success stories. And instead, you get obsessed with becoming the best version of yourself. And that's when everything changes. Listen, there will always be someone faster than you. There will always be someone smarter. There will always be someone with more resources, more experience, or more opportunities. But that doesn't matter. What matters is what you do with what you have. What matters is the discipline you put in every day. What matters is the relentless drive to be better than you were yesterday. And the truth is, most people will never reach their full potential because they're too busy looking over their shoulder. They're too worried about what someone else is doing. They're trying to keep up with someone else's pace instead of focusing on their own. They're distracted by other people's lives. And as a result, they're not fully focused on their own. But when you focus on you, everything shifts. You stop being jealous. You stop being resentful. You stop being bitter. Why? Because you realize that someone else's success doesn't take away from your own. There's enough room for everyone at the top. But the only way you'll get there is if you stop competing with others and start competing with yourself. It's easy to say you want to be successful. It's easy to say you want to be great. But are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to face your own weaknesses? Are you willing to look yourself in the mirror and be honest about what you need to improve? Because that's where the battle is. That's the part most people ignore. They avoid it. They don't want to confront their own shortcomings, their own insecurities, their own laziness. But if you want to be successful, you got to face those things head on. It's not about making excuses or blaming other people for where you are. It's about taking full responsibility for your own life and your own journey. Stop saying, if only I had this, or if only I had that. If you want to win, you have to win with what you've got. Right now, with the skills you have, with the resources you have. You have to use every ounce of energy to beat the person you were yesterday. This is where true growth happens. When you stop measuring yourself against other people and stop measuring yourself against your own potential, When you stop comparing your progress to someone else's timeline and start focusing on your own trajectory. The only person you should be competing against is the person who woke up this morning and the person you were yesterday. Don't wait for the perfect circumstances. Don't wait for everything to be aligned. You will never have everything you want to compete with others. So stop wasting your time. Start focusing on what you can control. Focus on how much better you can get. Focus on how many more hours you can put in. Focus on how much further you can push yourself. And that's what matters. The truth is, success is an individual pursuit. Your journey is yours alone. Your path is different from anyone else's. And that's okay. It's not a race to be the best compared to others. It's a race to be the best version of yourself. Every day you should be trying to one-up yourself. Every day you should be pushing your limits, setting new goals, and breaking your own records. So the next time you catch yourself comparing yourself to someone else, stop, refocus, shift the energy back to you. How can you be better today than you were yesterday? What are you doing today to outwork the person you were last week? That's the competition that matters. That's the only competition that will lead you to greatness. Your biggest competition is not in the world around you. It's in the world within you. And if you focus on becoming better than you were yesterday, you'll realize that you're already winning. You're already ahead. And the best part is you'll never stop winning. I need you to understand something that will change everything for you. Your purpose is bigger than your struggles. You got a calling on your life. You got a destiny that's waiting for you, but sometimes you get caught up in the obstacles. You get distracted by the pain, the setbacks, and the disappointments. And when that happens, it's easy to forget the truth that your purpose is far more powerful than any struggle you'll ever face. I know right now you may be dealing with all kinds of things. Maybe it's financial struggles, personal battles, or even doubts about your own abilities. You may feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. And I'm not here to dismiss that. I understand what it feels like to be knocked down, to feel like you've been fighting for so long with no visible results. But let me tell you this, the struggle is not your purpose. The struggle is a part of the process, but it is not the destination. The struggle is what makes you stronger. The struggle is what prepares you for the greatness that's coming your way. You have to stop looking at your problems as roadblocks and start seeing them as stepping stones. Your purpose isn't found in the easy times. It's found in the trials. It's found in the times when everything is against you, when no one believes in you, when you feel like you're running out of options. That's where your purpose begins to take shape. And that's where your strength is forged. Listen, your purpose is not for the weak. It's not for those who will quit at the first sign of difficulty. It's for those who can stand tall when life knocks them down. It's for the ones who keep going, even when the road is unclear. That's who you're becoming. You're becoming someone who doesn't just dream about their purpose. They fight for it. They endure. They push through. You see, there's something inside you that's greater than every struggle, every hardship, every moment of doubt. There's a fire in you that can't be extinguished. The world can throw everything at you, but it will never defeat you because your purpose is bigger than anything you face. You have the ability to overcome anything that stands in your way. But it starts with you choosing to believe that your purpose is more important than your pain. When I talk about your purpose, I'm talking about the thing that wakes you up at 3 a.m. I'm talking about the thing that keeps you going, even when your body says, stop. Your purpose is that deep, burning desire inside you that won't let you quit. It's your reason for everything you do. It's the reason you get up every day. It's the reason you work when everyone else is resting. Your purpose is your why. And it's bigger than any obstacle in your path. There are going to be moments when you feel like you can't go on. You'll have days where everything seems to be falling apart, where it feels like the universe is conspiring against you. But I want you to remember this. Your purpose is still there, waiting for you. Your destiny is not defined by your current circumstances. It's not defined by your failure. It's defined by the choices you make when life is hard. It's defined by your decision to keep going, to keep fighting, to keep moving forward, even when you don't feel like it. When you start thinking about your purpose in this way, you stop seeing the struggle as a negative force. Instead, you begin to see it as a teacher, a tool that's shaping you into the person you need to be to fulfill your purpose. You begin to understand that everything you're going through is preparing you for the greatness you're about to step into. You may not see it right now, but every tear, every setback, every battle is leading you to something bigger. And I want you to understand this. Your purpose is not just about you. It's not just about your dreams or your success. Your purpose is about what you can give to others. It's about how you can impact the lives of those around you. It's about how your struggle, your perseverance, your story will inspire someone else to keep going. You have the ability to change someone's life. You have the power to create a ripple effect of positive change, but you can only do that if you don't quit. You can only do that if you continue to fight for your purpose, even when things get hard. When you realize that your purpose is bigger than your struggles, you stop focusing on the obstacles. You stop letting fear and doubt control you. You start seeing every challenge as an opportunity to grow. Every setback becomes a setup for your comeback. Every rejection becomes a redirection to something greater. You begin to understand that your purpose is not just a dream, It's a reality that you're actively working toward no matter how many obstacles you face. Here's the thing. Every successful person you admire, every great achiever you look up to, they face struggles. They've had moments where they wanted to quit. They've experienced failure. They've been told they couldn't make it. But what makes them different is that they didn't give up. They didn't let their struggles define them. They used their struggles to fuel their drive. They understood that their purpose was bigger than any setback they could face. And now it's your turn. It's your time to stop letting your struggles control your future. It's your time to start embracing your challenges and using them as fuel to push you closer to your purpose. Every time you get knocked down, get back up stronger. Every time you face a roadblock, figure out a way to break through it, Twee. Every time you want to quit, remember that your purpose is bigger than your pain, your fear, and your doubt. Don't let your struggles be the reason you stop. Let them be the reason you keep going. Let them be the reason you dig deeper, push harder, and rise higher. Your purpose is waiting for you on the other side of that struggle, and it's calling your name. Don't you dare stop now. You've got work to do. You've got a legacy to leave. Your purpose is bigger than your struggle. Believe that and keep moving forward. You're closer than you think. Let me tell you something you need to hear. You control your own narrative. Stop letting other people write your story. You stop letting circumstances define who you are and where you're going. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you've been through, or what people are saying about you right now. Your story is yours, and only you can decide how it ends. You are the author of your own life, and every day you pick up the pen and decide what direction your story will go. And yet, so many people sit back and let life happen to them. They let their struggles, their mistakes, and the opinions of others define who they are. They live life as if they're a victim of their circumstances. But I'm here to tell you, you are not a victim. You are a creator. You are a person with power, vision, with control over your own life. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that other people have the power to shape your destiny. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that the way things are right now is the way they will always be. But I need you to understand, your current situation does not define your future. Where you are today is not where you'll be tomorrow, unless you decide to stay there. You have the ability to rewrite your story, to create the life you want, but it all starts with the decision to take control. Too often, we let the mistakes of our past determine our present and our future. We let our failures define us. We let one bad decision, one difficult season, or one setback take away our belief in our ability to succeed. But that's not how it works. Your past doesn't have to determine your future unless you allow it to. I know people who have made terrible mistakes, people who have been through hell and back, but they didn't let it stop them. They didn't let it become their story. They took control and they decided that their past would not define their future. I want you to think about something. How many times have you heard people say, that's just the way I am, or I've always been like this? I'm sure you've heard that before and maybe even said it yourself. But let me tell you something, you don't have to be the person you were yesterday. You can change, you can evolve, you can grow. But that can only happen if you stop allowing your old narrative to control you. Your story doesn't have to be about where you started. It doesn't have to be about the struggles you faced or the mistakes you've made. It's not about the hand you were dealt. It's about what you do with that hand. It's about how you rise from your failures. It's about how you build on your past, using it as fuel to create a better future. That's what your narrative should be about. No. When I think about my own journey, I remember the times when I felt lost. I remember the times when I didn't know how I was going to make it. I remember being homeless, broke, and struggling to survive. And if I had let that be the end of my story, I wouldn't be standing here today. But I refused to let my circumstances dictate who I was going to become. I refused to let my past mistakes control my future. Instead, I took responsibility for my life. I took the pen back into my own hands and I wrote a new chapter. I made a decision that my story was not over, that I was just getting started. And I'm telling you, it's the same for you. Whatever you've been through, whatever you're going through right now, it doesn't have to be your story. Your story is yours to write, and you can choose how it ends. It starts with one simple thing. Taking ownership of your narrative, you can no longer let other people's opinions, other people's failures, or even your own past mistakes determine who you are and what you can achieve. Listen, people are going to try to tell you who you are. They're going to try to define you based on where you come from, what you've done, or what you've been through. But you don't have to accept that. Say, you don't have to live according to their definition of who you are. You define yourself. You determine your worth. You decide where you're going and how you're going to get there. This is where a lot of people fall short. They give other people the power to tell their story. They let the opinions of family, friends, society, and even strangers shape their identity. But here's the truth. No one can define you unless you allow them to. You are the only person who can tell your story. You are the only one who knows the vision you have for your life. You are the only one who can turn your dreams into reality. When you take control of your narrative, you take control of your future, you stop being reactive and you become proactive. You stop waiting for things to change and you start making the changes you want to see in your life. You stop looking for approval from others and you start looking inward for the strength and the direction you need. You realize that you don't need permission to succeed. You don't need validation from anyone. Your success is already written in the story of your life and is waiting for you to claim it. Now let me be clear. Taking control of your narrative doesn't mean that life will be easy. It doesn't mean that you won't face challenges or setbacks. It doesn't mean that everything will fall into place overnight, but it does mean that you have the power to shape your destiny. It means that no matter how difficult things get, you have the strength and the ability to overcome them. It means that you get to decide who you are, what you stand for, and where you're going. And if you stay committed to writing your own story, there is no limit to what you can achieve. So I'm asking you today to take back the pen. Stop letting your circumstances dictate your life. Stop letting other people's opinions define who you are. You have a story to tell. You have a future to create. And it's all in your hands. Own your narrative. Write your story. And make it one that you're proud of. Because in the end, your narrative is the most powerful thing you ever control.